Hello and welcome to this video where we'll use Python to connect with duckdb. So before, in the previous videos, you have been used to connecting to duckdb through the CLI and through dbeaver. But now it's time to use Python, and then you can more programmatically use the database and do a lot of queries programmatically. And that is really powerful. So we can ingest data also programmatically into the database. So you can take use of the constructs in Python, for example, for loops in order to loop through and actually ingest several CSV data files into the database. Yes, so let's move on to the browser first. So in the browser, I will go into Göteborgs stad. From Göteborg is my city, so I want to get the data here. And the data I'm interested in is leverantörsfakturor. This means it's the invoices for the suppliers in 2024. So this is interesting because we can analyze the different, how the city is using our tax money. This is this is open data in Sweden, so it's really good that it exists. And if it exists, it's good if someone works with them. So here we could use there's an option to use the API. However, we will use CSV files. So clicking here, we have here leverantörsfaktura for August 2024 and June 2024, July 2024, etc. So I'll just pick the two latest ones. So I'll save this one and I'll save this one. So you could pick more if you want to analyze trends and if you want to join the data so it becomes more of a challenge. However, I'm quite satisfied with this. So I'll move on to Visual Studio Code. Inside of Visual Studio Code, I just have a folder here, Python connect duckdb, and I've just created a virtual environment with UV, and I only installed ipykernel and installed pandas. So now I want to UV pip install, what do I want to install? Duckdb, in order to do the connections. And this you should do also. So then when we install duckdb, I will clean the terminal, and we will create a data folder here. Data. And in the data folder, I will put in these two files. So I put in, oh, not this one, here. So I have leverantörsfaktura 2024-08 and 2024-07. And you can also see that this is misspelled, leverantörsfaktura, and this is leverantörsfaktura. So it's one N that differs, which means that you cannot use the name directly. Instead, we will loop through this and read it in. Read it into the database. So in order to do that, there's several ways to working with databases in Python. So first of all, let's create a file here. We'll call it database.py. So here I want to connect to the database. So we will import duckdb, and we will create a. So usually there's if you search for it online or you use ChatGPT or similar LLM, they will tell you that yes, you should create a connection, using duckdb to create a connection object. So duckdb.connect, and then afterwards, when you have connected, you should make sure to close the connection. However, this is not really good practice in my opinion. It's better to create a so you can use a context manager using the with statement, which will handle the connection, and it will handle the errors, and it will handle to close down all the resources when you exit the connection, when you exit the context manager. So we will use the with statement. However, you can actually use the with statement directly with duckdb, but I will do some class in order to have some convenience. So I will this is why I create the class now. So class database. So this class will handle the connection using a context manager. So we implement a context manager, and to implement a context manager, you need to have several methods. So you have init, you have an enter method. I will explain what this is. I'll do pass for now. And then you have an dunder exit method. And this dunder exit has the exception type. It has the exception value, and it has the traceback. I'll also explain what this does soon. So basically, with these methods, these dunder methods, we have a context manager implemented. And this means that we can use the with statement. So to demonstrate this, what happens here? So if I do with database as db, and we can do like this, print entering database, or entering dunder enter. Print exiting in dunder exit, like this, just to show you what will happen. So when I do this, when I create this database, I'll just do pass here. Or I'll just print, inside of context manager, like this. And then I'll run this. So you can see what happens. We have, when we use the context manager, we will first go into the enter. So all the code that happens inside the enter will be executed. And then the code inside of the with statement, will be executed inside of context manager. And then exiting when we're outside. So then I can print outside. So you can see that this one happens after the exiting. So it means that we can do some cleanup code in the exit. We can do some connection code in the entering. So this is the power of using a context manager. That means that you use a with statement to work with the database. So this is kind of somewhat the more advanced Python topics, but it's really, really useful to have. And it's you get to Pythonic code. So here, let's do like this. Self dot connection. We start with a connection of none, and then we will create a connection when we're in the enter. So self.connection equals duckdb dot-connect, and I want to do self.db path. So I don't have a db path now, but I will do self.db path equals to db path. So basically I want to have this as input argument, db path. So it means that whenever we're creating the database, we need to put in a database path, because that is what I want. And then I want to do the connection to this database path. And finally, here after the enter, we return self, so we return the object itself, which can be used. And during, so in the database, I want to have a query as well in order to use it. So query self query. So here I'll just return self.connection.execute. So I will execute a query. So I'll execute the query and I will do .fetch all, which will give me a list back. So this gives, this means that I can do several, in the with statement, I have opened the database, right? I open a connection to the database file. So then I can do several queries inside of a with statement. So I can do, for example, 5 queries. And then when I am outside of the with statement, the connection closes. And what happens with the exit? Well, we have some arguments here. And these arguments, or these parameters, they are used for handling the errors. So whenever we have an exception, it will be passed along. So these are for handling the exception. And we will do, if we have a connection, if self.connection, then we'll do self.connection.close, basically. So we're closing the connection, if there is a connection, right? So then we have handled the database, we have freed the resources, we have closed the connection. So now I'll test this out, and I'll test this out here. I'll do if thunder name equals thunder main. And I will run this database. I will choose a path. So from pathlib, import path, and I will do basically, I will call like this db path equals to path under file dot parent. So we go into this parent and then we'll do slash tests.db. I will throw this away later. So then I will do db path here, and I will do some query. db.query. So for example, I'll do just select star from information schema.schemata, like this. And then I'll run this one. Oh, nothing happens, of course. I need to print it out. So I'll just call it query 1 equals to this. So I will print query 1. And you can see that this is the query which we get back. And we have the testdb which has been created because it didn't exist before. So great, now we have done our connection to the database for the first time.